Now comes the interesting part. How do you get started? All this is good, but what's in it for you? For those of you who actually paid and enrolled for the course. The first step is to register, right? As you can see, when you're registering, right, you just choose your own username, right? For now, for the sake of simplicity, I'm just using, let us say, chatbot, right? And then I'm saying chatbot@gmail.com. This will be your login email ID, right? And I give a password, and you select student because most of you are students, right? So you'll be selecting the student part of it and then click on register, right? The moment you click on register, your account is going to get created, right? And once your account gets created, right, you get to sign in, right? So now you just remember the email IDs that you have used, right? So chatbot@gmail.com, right? And the same password that you've used for logging in, right? You just use that same user ID and login, right? And the moment you do that, you get your landing page, right? And here the most important part of you is your dashboard, right? You go to the dashboard, right? The moment you get to dashboard, because this is the first time you're logging in, you'll be asked to pick the product that you've been working on, right? So these are the products that you can pick as part of the program: sentiment analyzer, recommendation engine, chatbot, text summarizer, predictive model, and anomaly detector. Right. So let me select chatbot. And if you are not sure about a product idea, right, you can also brainstorm it. So this is a canvas that we have provided. That right now it is, for some reason it was blocked, right? But here is a canvas that will help you to brainstorm your product idea, right? And then you can also, if you want really not sure about which idea that you should be selecting, so here is a set of 100 AI product ideas, right? So that will help you go through all these ideas. Again, these are just references. You can pick your own product idea. This brainstorming canvas, for some reason it was not opening, right, will contain all the process, right? You and your mentor will be going through the process in finalizing, defining, scoping out the problem statement, right? And this Airtable link contains the list of all the 100 projects, right? And here is also another website, right, where you can actually look at all the, at least 40 out of these 100 projects, right? So you see here, you have the machine learning projects, right, which deal with machine learning. And you also have the computer vision projects that you can choose, right? Fake image detector, I was saying, right? Video highlight. This is one of the projects that one of the current students is doing, automatically figuring out which cricket shot is getting played in a video, right? And then you have NLP projects, which talk about a lot of this topic modeling, text summarization use cases, right? And then you also have the chatbot projects, right? So this is where you're looking at building a textbook chatbot, trading bot, language translator, virtual home assistant, healthcare bot, right? Code recommendation, full stack bot. These are some of the process. If you click on this, you'll get more details as to how you can go ahead and start working on this, right? And this page here, as you can see, contains the description part of it for all these different projects. There's 100 ideas that you can go through in detail. And the first step here is to be clear as to what is that product that you're working on. And for this, you might need more sittings with your mentor, right? Like just like story sittings for a movie, you're going to get your own mentoring sessions where you will identify which product you're going to build and how you're going to build it, right? Let us say I want to build a chatbot and I want to build it in the retail space, right? I select this, I click on next. Then the next step is figuring out at what level are you currently present, right? So there's some of the basic questions that covers your understanding of machine learning, because depending on your AI quotient that gets calculated, currently I'm just randomly selecting these values, right? You'll be getting a list of areas of improvement and recommendations accordingly. And this is just to understand at what level are you? Are you a person who is well versed with the foundations of machine learning? Or are you a person who is still getting started? Right? Because based on this, the content, teaching, mentoring, everything would be curated. Right? So once you are done with selecting this, once you're done with setting up this assessment, so choosing your project, right? This is your dashboard. So this is your score, your overall AI quotient, how many questions you got right overall, right? And within that, different sections, right? In those 10 questions, you have linear algebra section, you have machine learning, and you have deep learning areas, right? And these are the questions that you got wrong. I think I got 8 questions wrong, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 10 wrong. right? And I'll also get recommendations that talk about how I can improve on this, right? So that's another thing that actually helps, right? So that's exactly how the student dashboard kind of starts working, right? So this is how the student's dashboard works, right? And then here you also, once you run the dashboard, you go to the project aspect of it, right? In the project is where what you have selected, which is chatbot, right? Chatbot in retail space, right? So you'll be getting access to the different research papers, the top 3 research papers in this space, right? And then you can just click on them, right? NLU benchmarking, right? You'll get the research paper accordingly so that you can go through this and you can develop your domain knowledge, because an important aspect of building a AI product is your ability to get the domain knowledge, right? So that you can build it without any issues, right? And then not only the research papers, you'll also get case studies, right? Let us say how chatbots are currently used in banking space, or how the chatbots are used in the retail space, right? So you'll get curated information. So right now we are still working on customizing it based on your recommendation. It's a recommendation engine that one of the students is currently building that is being used to get these recommendations, right? You'll get ideas, articles that talk about how the chatbots are being deployed, right? And then you'll also get some related data sets, right? Data sets that will help you start working on building a chatbot, practicing chatbot, right? The same flow will be there for a recommendation engine, for a text summarizer, for a sentiment analyzer, for everything, right? For all the different products that the student gets to build, depending on your choice of a product, because we believe in one product at a time, one idea at a time, right? If you choose anomaly detector, you'll get all the support that is necessary, all the information that is necessary here in under the My Project section. That will help improve your domain knowledge in that area, and that will help you make sure that you build the right product, right? And if you come to tutorials, this is where all your areas of improvement that were identified earlier, right? You get recommendations corresponding to how you can improve in these areas. And these are recommendations coming from a variety of media, like you have YouTube tutorials, you have some of the recordings by the mentors, you have some of the videos from Vimeo and others. Right? The idea is you get, this is the only place that you need to go in order to improve in the areas of improvement, right? So these are the areas that we already assessed at the start when you're filling out those 10 questions. Based on the areas that I got wrong, right? These are the recommendations that were provided to me, right? And this is also recommended based on your clicks, your click information is going to be captured. Based on that, it will further identify, right? So what level, what kind of videos are you liking? Is your AI quotient improving or not? We're also working on getting an assessment bot in place, right? So that you can keep on interacting with that bot to keep asking, to keep answering questions. And based on your responses, your AI quotient will modify. Based on your AI quotient, your recommendations will keep on getting changed, right? So my tutorials is a section where you improve in those areas that you are not really that good at. Okay, and then finally you have the coaching plan, right? So this is the coaching plan that is created for a person who is interested in building chatbots in the retail domain, right? So this coaching plan is nothing but it's a sequence of steps. So this is a chatbot. This is the first module, introduction to conversational AI. But under conversational AI, right, you have the contextual assistant, right? That is the first, what is a contextual assistant and how do you use it, right? So that's the first tutorial. It's a video that is still loading, that will be loaded up, right? And then you have the overview of conversational AI platforms, right? So which one should we use? Should we go for Dialogflow? Should we go for Lex? Should we go for something else, right? So that's exactly the overview that you're getting there. And then comes how do you design a conversation, right? And then how do you collect training data for a chatbot? That is the first module. Second module is the NLP pipeline module, right? So how do you, what is tokenization? How do you perform lemmatization, right? How do you perform stemming? How do you perform stop word removal, right? TF-IDF, right? How do you do this embeddings, right? And then you go for deep neural network embeddings, which is nothing but Word2Vec, transformers, Elmo, BERT, right? And then you go for dialogue management, right? What is a stateful machine, stories, policies, right? So we'll be mostly working on getting RASA in place because that is as close as it gets to productionizing chatbots. We'll be mostly focusing on that, right? And then finally, chatbot deployment. This is the final module where you get to learn how do you deploy your chatbot, right? Dockerizing the bot server and then deploying on Kubernetes cluster, building the chatbot widget, right? Using React framework, integrating with Slack, integrating with WhatsApp, right? There's the final step, right? And then finally evaluating chatbot. How do you evaluate a chatbot, right? So this coaching plan will keep on getting updated based on interactions with your mentor. Your mentor will either remove some of these items if you're already aware of it, or he will add new items, right? So for people who paid for the program, you'll see this as a living page. It keeps on improving as you add more stuff, right? As you discuss more with your mentor, depending on what is right for the project at a particular point of time, you'll be getting the relevant recommendations, right? And then finally, you have this workshop. So Feedback First conducts workshops every now and then. So all the collection of workshops are collected by different mentors, mostly from interview perspective, from resume preparation perspective. You'll have those videos also uploaded here in this. So if any of you guys, guys must be having some of these invites, right? Like today's invite. So not all of you might attend the meeting at that point of time. Right, for those of you, you'll be getting this recording. Even today's recording will be showing up here. These are common for all the students that you can leverage, right? So this is the Feedback First module and the website. So what I would request is you guys play around with it. If you have any feedback, right, you can always directly mail the support team, support@aiquotient.app, right, about the feedback. And one thing that you can also look at it is your pain points, right? So what other pain points do you want the website to be solved? Because we would love to build it for you, because ultimately you are the users, right? So if you find anything else that you need that is not currently covered, right, do tell us that, because that is very important, because that's how the website will evolve over the course of time, right? So we are still working out on adding some more features, making the website even faster, getting to load most of the stuff, assessment bot that I was talking about, right? Even the recommendation engines, right? If you look at the search parameters, if I look for something like a cost function, right, the results that you get are again based out of it's a cosine similarity recommendation engine, right, that is getting invoked, and based on which you're getting the relevant results. So everything in this website is actually built by some of the students who have completed the program in the last 3-4 months. Right, so the search engine was built by a student, the article recommendation was built by a student, right? So this is, think of it as your testing bed. If you want to build a product that you want to showcase on your resume, right, and if you are looking for a pain point that you feel will help in the education space, right, so you can always have this website as that repository which showcases your work, right? So that's another idea that you can look at. Okay, so still more features will come in, but I would love to hear from you as to what other features are you looking at, and accordingly we'll move forward. Right, so this website is available, it's live now. This is a URL, feedbackfirst.app, that you can leverage, and you can sign in, choose the product that you're already working on, take the assessment, and then look at the content and work with your mentor so that your coaching plans keep on getting updated. Okay, yeah, that's about it from my side. Any